Water scarcity. Water covers 70% of the Earth's surface, of which 97% is salt water, leaving only 3% of fresh water available to sustain life on Earth. Of this percentage, 70% of this meager amount is unavailable for human consumption, as it is found frozen in the form of glaciers. This means that the remaining 30% of water must be shared among agriculture, accounting for 70% of global water usage, industry for 20%, and domestic use 10%. Hence, water is an important global common good. Given its increased usage due to growing population and world development trend, water is perceived to be an increasingly scarce resource. However, water scarcity is a relative concept describing the relationship between supply and demand of water. It can occur at any level, and generally, dwindling supply or mounting demand leads to increasing water scarcity. Therefore, this is both a natural and a social phenomenon in which power relations are involved. This creates an array of problems such as inadequate natural water endowments, water pollution, uneven distribution, unsustainable management of water resources, etc. Considering the importance of water and the global perception of its increased scarcity, disputes over water resources will be a leading source of conflicts in the 21st century. Water conflict. The necessity and scarcity of water result in worldwide conflicts, ranging from terrorism, religious disputes, and conventional wars. However, there is a common root for this problem around the globe: development. Due to the growing world development trend, the use of water for increasing industries and population generates disputes between societies. China, with one of the highest economic growth rates in the world, has increased its use of water to a level where its resources are not enough. In 1999, farmers from Hebei and Henan provinces fought over limited water resources using heavy weapons, injuring around 100 villagers and causing damages for over $1 million. The pollution of water in China has affected fisheries too, which led to protests in 2001 in Jiangxi City, where a large industrial wastewater canal was blocked for 22 days, discharging wastewater into neighboring towns, killing fish, and threatening public health. Many conflicts rise from the construction of dams to provide energy. In 1982, in Guatemala, 177 civilians were killed over opposition to the Chixoy hydroelectric dam. 8 years later, in Turkey, the flow of the Euphrates was interrupted for a month for the construction of the Ataturk Dam. Syria and Iraq protested that Turkey had a weapon of war. Later, the Turkish president threatened to restrict water to Syria, forcing it to withdraw support for the Kurdish rebels in Turkey. Increasing mining projects in Peru have led to several protests and deaths because of concerns over water quality and water rights. In 2012, the police killed 4 protesters in clashes over the development of the Canadian-operated Minas Conga gold mine. In that same year, protests over water quality and water rights around the Extrata Tintaya copper mine led to 2 deaths and 50 injured. Water justice.
Wow, I don't understand how a crucial element for life such as water could cause that amount of conflicts. Wait, what is this? The Human Rights Declaration. What does it say?
The human right to water entitles everyone to sufficient, safe, acceptable, physically accessible, and affordable water for personal and domestic use. That sounds great, doesn't it? But this right might not be always respected. For example, a person in the US uses 176 gallons of water per day, while a person in Peru only consumes 2.5 gallons a day for drinking, washing, and cooking.
What is sufficient?
A person in Norway can drink water directly from the tap, while a person in Bangladesh could never do something like that because of the contamination caused by bacteria that causes several diseases.
How is this safe?
A girl in France uses appropriate sanitation facilities at her school, while a girl in Senegal does not. The same girl avoids drinking water in order not to use the insalubrious sanitation facilities at her school, which dehydrates her and makes her unable to concentrate during the lessons.
Is that acceptable?
A person in Germany walks some meters in order to get water from the tap, while a person in Mozambique has to walk nearly 5 kilometers a day carrying a 44-pound vase on the head to collect some water.
Is that accessible?
A person living in one of the slums of Manila pays 5 to 10 times more for water than somebody living in high-income areas in London or New York.
Is that affordable?
It is perfectly understandable that there are worries, and the truth is that the Human Rights Declaration by itself cannot change these realities. Because of all of what we have just shown you, the students of the MEG 9 generation have developed 5 short videos in which all of these concepts will be explained and illustrated through the use of real case scenarios from all around the world. First, these videos will frame the current problems related to water, followed by potential solutions that need to be put into practice by the global society.
Reservoir of power. The lack of water is creating tensions between those who have access to this resource and those who don't. In this context, transboundary water issues have become sources of political, economic, environmental, and social conflicts in many regions of the world, like the current situation of Ethiopia and the construction of the dams in the Nile River basin. This video wishes to explore the positions of the respective stakeholders and find out if the escalation of tensions could lead to a bigger conflict, and how to possibly diffuse these situations.
Transboundary water issues have become sources of conflict in many regions of the world. In this context, water access is as much a political issue as it is a technical or environmental issue.
It will minimize the quantity of water comes to Egypt, and it will affect also for the regulation of when the water will come. They will be the master of the water in the area.
The government's decision to take a bold, assertive step is fully supported by people.
If you're dependent on resources that are within your internal boundaries of your territory, like Ethiopia, you don't have that much vulnerability because it's your part of the watershed and it's within your boundaries of your national territory. But if you look at Egypt, that is actually relying on its 97% level of dependence of water resources that is not within its territory. So it's a huge level of vulnerability.
Water changes everything. Provision of and access to clean water has been a major constraint to the socioeconomic development of approximately 1 billion people worldwide. Our video portrays how access to clean drinking water can significantly transform the lives of these people. We will look at Water Charity, an international NGO, to examine the impacts they have had in changing the lives of people by providing potable water. Water-wise, each choice matters. Personal water consumption is also part of the problem, adding to water scarcity. This video examines personal water consumption, not just in terms of what we use on a daily basis, but what we consume indirectly through products such as textiles. We exemplify the issue with a cotton t-shirt and a coffee through the life of a student in Germany.
How much water do you consume on a daily basis?
City like Freiburg, when the water comes from Black Forest and just goes, then everybody can consume as much as wants. What is the relation to me personally? You're not discussing me.
So especially here in Europe and in the West, we buy so many new clothes.
Most of the time these things are some kind of greenwashing.
It takes about 130 liters of water to produce 1 cup of coffee.
Numbers are really scary, like we say that coffee is like kind of joy of life for me.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah, but why? Everybody needs to wear something and not walking around naked.
Well, on organic cotton, I don't you think it's a bit expensive?
The idea of second-hand coffee is a little bit disgusting, but
a lot of water is used to produce commodities that we buy and consume every day. We have to think about how we consume.
Anna's holiday. The tourism, textile dyeing, energy, and agricultural industries are becoming increasingly water-intensive, as water demand increases around the globe. This animation video looks at the nexus between these three economic activities and water scarcity in the fictional town of Sunnyvale. It also highlights some of the inequality and social impacts of water scarcity attributable to these economic activities. The examples depicted in the video are based on real case scenarios.
This is Anna. She lives in the town of Plentyville, where everyone has a job, and there's plenty of everything for everyone. There's plenty of food, plenty of education, plenty of clothes, and plenty of water. In fact, almost everyone in Plentyville has more than they need. That's what makes Plentyville so pleasant. But no one really knows where these things come from or what their impact is. Come on holiday with Anna and we'll find out.
Best practices on stormwater management. This video focuses on stormwater management's potential to solve water scarcity or water excess problems in different global contexts. After framing the problem practically and theoretically, we present solutions from locations worldwide. Using 4 unique contexts, we describe each case's water management challenges and how these obstacles were overcome via technology and practices that most effectively use stormwater.
Ensuring that everyone has access to clean water isn't just about getting through the dry times. Too much water flowing too fast can be devastating, especially in places with inadequate or non-existent stormwater management infrastructure and practices.
Stormwater that isn't properly managed can also carry pollutants into rivers and streams, throwing ecosystem out of balance and disrupting all sorts of ecosystem services and functions.
This video will highlight some global best practices for harvesting stormwater and stormwater management. Stormwater harvesting takes place in rich countries and poor countries. It's happening in wet climates and in dry climates. Wherever you live, there are opportunities to effectively harvest stormwater to help ensure everyone has access to clean and safe water.